that Brock Ray? Hello?
Hello,
Hi. This is
you're the
Carol.
only one I can hear.
I'm the only one you can hear?
Yeah, I can hear you guys too, but we can't hear the room.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's what it said. We got the chat on. It basically says the same thing.
We could have our own meeting.
yeah. I don't need to share the screen. I'll just be saying a few words. I don't have any slides.
Can the folks on Zoom hear us now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Did we lose the audio again?
Yes.
yep.
I think Scott needs to hold the mic closer.
Hey, sorry guys, we are starting in a minute here. We still got a few people in line. So good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, City of Lakes Rotary. I hope you're all doing well this morning. It's good to see you all here and to see the folks online this morning. Good to have you all here. The Rooters started off out in the other room today so we could use the piano, and hey, that was fun. That was fun to do. So thank you all for joining us out there. I'm sorry for the folks online. I heard you couldn't hear us, but it was so spectacular you wouldn't have believed it. So why don't we rise, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Yeah, it's on the banner. In the things we think, say, and do, 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Hey, you guys are pretty good at that. John Vandermeid has our reflection today. John.
I have always been impressed and admired older folks, particularly older women, who are so positive and happy. And so I found this 5 lessons on attitude from a 92-year-old. The 92-year-old petite, well-poised, and proud lady who is fully dressed each morning by 8 o'clock with her hair fashionably coiffed and makeup perfectly applied, even though she is legally blind, moved to a nursing home. Her husband of 70 years recently passed away, making the move necessary. After many hours of waiting patiently in the lobby of the nursing home, she smiled sweetly when told her room was ready. As she maneuvered her walker to the elevator, I provided a visual description of her tiny room, including the eyelet sheets that had been hung on her window. I love it, she stated with the enthusiasm of an 8-year-old having just been presented with a new puppy. Mrs. Jones, you haven't seen the room, just wait. That doesn't have anything to do with it, she replied. Happiness is something you decide on ahead of time. Whenever I like my room or not doesn't depend upon how the furniture is arranged. It's how I arrange my mind. I already decided to love it. It's a decision I make every morning when I wake up. I have a choice. I can spend the day in bed recounting the difficulty I have with the parts of my body that don't work, or get out of bed and be thankful for the ones that do. Each day is a gift. And as long as my eyes open, I'll focus on the new day and all the happy memories I have stored away just for this time of my life. She went on to explain, old age is like a bank account. You withdraw from what you've put in. So my advice to you would be deposit a lot of happiness in the bank account of memories. Thank you for your part in filling my memory bank. I am still depositing. And with the smile, she said, remember the 5 simple rules to be happy. Free your heart from hatred. Free your mind from worries. Live simply. Give more. Expect less.
Thank you, John. Have a seat. There's no song. We already did the song. So we're all set there. Introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians. I see Anna has a guest this morning. Anna, thank you for bringing your guest.
It's important to have a microphone. Good morning, everyone. I have a guest today. Some of you've met him at our happy hour events. This is Luciano Verrazano, my boyfriend, who is very interested in our club.
Hey,
Good morning, everyone.
good morning.
I'm not much of a speaker, but my name is Luciano. I'm from Brooklyn. I moved here 2 years ago as a public equity fund manager, and now I'm a private equity fund manager, and I wake up early and go to bed late, pretty much. And I'm figuring out Minneapolis traffic, which is pretty interesting still, because it changes every summer. So that's it. But I appreciate you guys having me, and I look forward to getting to know you all. Thank you.
Luciano, welcome. If you come here every Wednesday morning, you won't have a traffic problem. It's so easy to get here at this time of day. I think we have guests online.
That's right. Heather Olson is online. She's a guest of mine. She's a good friend who has attended a few meetings in the past, but she was really interested in the topic this morning, being a wonderful and well-connected member of the Minneapolis design community. Heather, do you want to say a few words? She's not normally at a loss.
No.
All right. Heather, did you want to say a few words? Introduction? Not this morning. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Heather. Good to have you joining us today. Thank you. Keep those guests and visiting Rotarians coming. Good to see them here today.
Scott, I have a guest. This is Bill Jackson. My wife Shirley is joining us today.
Oh, Bill, thank you. Shirley, welcome. Shirley,
Thank you.
Great. Do you want to say anything, Shirley?
Yeah, I would just like to say that through Bill, I'm a big supporter of Rotary. And also I personally am involved in Landmark and am really interested in creating a world that works for everyone. I'm real interested in today's speaker. I'm a graduate of the University of Minnesota Home Economics Department. I'm a former teacher, school counselor, retired.
Wonderful. Well, Shirley, welcome. Thank you for being with us today. Any other guests or visiting Rotarians online that we missed? All right, keep those guests coming. Thank you, everybody. Announcements. So Kevin wanted me to note that there is an accessible entrance just to the left of the green awning. So you can come right in there at level and take the elevator up to here. Anyone who wants to use the accessible entrance here to the Women's Club is welcome to do so. September 14th, we have our book club. If you want to come live, I have opened up my patio. It isn't as new as it was last time. It still looks good though. So come on over, and we'll also be on Zoom. And my address is on 3814 Bedeh-McCoska Parkway West. And that's also on our website. So come on over, read the book, Punching the Air. I finished it. It's good. I really enjoyed it. You will too. So get a chance to read the book, come on by or join us via Zoom. September 25th is the Knicker Open 2.0. Starting at noon. That's a Saturday, September 25th. Sign up online by the 17th of September. Well, just do it today. You know, why wait to the last minute? So that is September 25th. October 9th, I believe, yes, is the 5950 Rotary Summit. And that is also virtual via Zoom starting at 9 a.m. So join the 5950 Rotary Summit on October 9th. And don't forget, October 20th is our foundation event. Get that on your calendar. We will not have a morning meeting on October 20th. We'll be here in the evening, drinks and hors d'oeuvres and a great program. So everybody plan on joining us here on October 20th in the evening, not in the morning. So get that on your calendar. Gail, you have an announcement about the Rotary Awards, speaking of our foundation.
I do. Thank you very much. It is that wonderful time of year again that we get to recognize some people who do outstanding work in the community. And the first one is the Merle L's Heart of Rotary Award. And that award goes to someone within the club who has done outstanding work for the club and the organization, and that we would like to recognize. The other one is the John Fisher Hope Award, and that award goes to someone out in the community who is personally sacrificed a lot, giving a lot to the community through themselves and their organization. Typically, this goes to an organization that is not very recognized. Somebody who's kind of going under the radar and doing lots of really good stuff, but people don't really know about it. They get an award, and they also get $2,500 their organization does in order to continue their good work. So Carol Russell and I will be heading up these two award selections, and we will get you an email in the next couple of days, giving you a quick little form to fill out to nominate people. So start thinking right away. We'd like the nominations in the next few weeks. And because our awards event is in November, and we want to be able to get our committees together to make a good decision. So you'll be hearing more, but start thinking about those people you want to recognize. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean, do you want to do a quick announcement here?
Good morning, everybody. I don't want to have my back to anybody. So first announcement is we have a sort of a new policy where as people leave the club, we make sure that everybody knows, because sometimes people sort of faded away and people wondered where they were. So I'm sad to announce that Chatty has left the club. He's working from home now, not downtown very much, and the new location just didn't really work out for him quite as well. So I encourage you to stay in touch with Chatty. He's still certainly a friend of this club, and we appreciate all that he has done for us and the friendships through the years. So shout out to Chatty. Second thing I want to announce is that starting in September, we are reviving the prize for bringing guests program. So I'm assembling the prizes in the next week or so. So for people who bring guests in September, who unfortunately you can't bring your whole family and count as a as your guest. So non-family guests, it's a good idea and it has worked in the past, but it's so bringing guests throughout September will net you, the person who brings the most will get one of the Rotary prizes that I'm putting together, and it's not necessarily all Rotary swag this year. So just a little teaser there. And the other thing I want to just transition into then is on your tables, and I understand on the PowerPoint will be questions. We're doing fruit basket upset this morning, although we didn't upset. I decided to just let you sit wherever you wanted to this morning, see what happened. So these questions, the idea is to just talk to each other, have a different kind of conversation. So you start out by saying your name and your current occupation, and then each person answer at least one of these questions and conversation ensues. The questions are, who was one of the most interesting people you have met? What is something that everyone should do at least once in their life? If you could live in another city for 1 year, where would it be? And what would your perfect room look like if you were adding a room onto your house or maybe remaking one of your rooms? What would it be like? So with that,
Before we
begin.
go in though, we have a couple more announcements, so I should have called you last. Gee,
Oh,
but you
sorry.
can think about those questions for just
Think
a
about
minute.
those questions for the rest of the announcement. You'll be really ready this time.
Gary, you had an announcement.
Yes, it's just occurred to me, since we're talking about October and November events, to get on your calendar November 6th, Saturday, which is going to be our annual raking event. So we'll meet about 8:30 and we'll be done by about 11 and go down to Matt's Bar and have those who want have the burgers, the Juicy Lucy's, and rain or shine, unless it's that much snow or more on the ground. But a great event, family event, the more the merrier. November 6th, Saturday, get it on your calendar.
I have my fingers crossed that it's going to be as nice as it was last year. All right, any other announcements? I have one quick thing. Have you done your Rotary survey? Okay, good. Everybody do your Rotary survey. I don't want to drive you crazy one more week by sending another email. So fill out that Rotary survey. Let's get it done. We really do use those results. It's really important for us for planning our next year. All right, let's go into fruit basket mix up. And I'm assuming, Brock, you can send people who are online into rooms, and folks at your tables. Let's start those discussion questions. And we'll have about 10 minutes. All right, we should start kind of ending our conversations. One minute and we'll be done and ready to move on. All right, I think we're all back. Thank you, everybody. That was fun. At least our table was fun. I hope you all had fun too. Our day chair today is Daniel Cadet. Daniel is president and CEO of Cadet Architectural Group, a second generation architectural office located in Lowry Hill. So, you know, Daniel and Ed can walk here, which is great. It specializes in civic and public work. The firm works on a variety of project types, including K through 12 education, religious, public works, and other state and county facilities. Daniel's been a member of the City of Lakes Rotary since 2013 and enjoys the volunteer opportunities and great speakers presented at our weekly meetings. While Daniel works in Minneapolis, he lives with his husband and 2 kids and a cat in the Highland Park neighborhood of St. Paul. Daniel attended the College of Design for both his undergraduate and graduate studies in architecture. He keeps involved with the college through portfolio reviews, studio presentations, and will join the U's mentoring program this fall. So Daniel, welcome. Thank you for being our day chair today.
All right, good morning. Be a little odd, we have camera and people, so I'll be extra distracted on where to look. But yes, I was happy to introduce our speaker today. When I went through the U, it was CALA, not College of Design, but dating myself probably a little bit there, it's changed. But yeah, so this morning we're happy to have Carol Strohecker, Dean of the College of Design, who's going to be describing the efforts to restructure the college while promoting interdisciplinary research and education and increasing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and retention of students and employees. So the school is it's a great, I mean, it's personal side. The education experience at the U was wonderful in architecture and in school of design. It's a very social experience. There's a lot of great opportunities, and they've only increased it since I feel like I went there. There's more programs now than ever. But back to Carol's bio. So Carol is a professor at the University of Minnesota. She studied at MIT and received a PhD in media arts and a Master's of Science in Visual Studies. She served as the vice provost at Rhode Island School of Design, which is another outstanding institution, and as the inaugural director of the University of North Carolina's Center for Design, and as that. Yeah, lengthy qualifications there. So we're happy to have her at the U. A number of other things, you know, she's, a lot of impressive, I'm reading a lot of impressive acronyms and a lot of impressive titles. So I think I'll let her get to her discussion today so we have enough time to cover what she wants. And yes, so welcome, Carol.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. And I'm glad to be with all of you this morning. I'd also, pardon me, I'd also like to thank Ed Cadet for inviting me to join you. And I'd like to thank Karen Scott and Brock Ray for their support. So I'm delighted to tell you about what's going on in the University of Minnesota's College of Design. I'll just say a few words and then I'd like to have some question and answer, some discussion with you following this overview. So I know that some of you are alumni of our academic programs, Daniel and Shirley, good to meet you. Many of you attend our events, work with our students as mentors or adjunct teachers, or collaborate on our community-based research and design projects. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you this morning. So as you know, the University of Minnesota has 5 distinct campuses in Crookston, Duluth, Morris, Rochester, and the Twin Cities. And the Twin Cities campus has locations in both St. Paul and Minneapolis. And the sites in Minneapolis are on both sides of the east and west banks of the Mississippi River. Research and academic programs of about 15 colleges are situated across these locations of the Twin Cities campus.
Hey, everybody, I'm so sorry if you can hear me, but we think Carol's on mute. We can't hear anything online. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so far into my talk and I had no idea I was on mute. Please excuse me.
You were not on mute. We're having some technical difficulties here in the room, but we can hear you now. So let's go ahead and just keep going from there.
Okay. So I've just been explaining that the College of Design offers multiple degrees in several disciplinary areas: apparel design, architecture, graphic design, interior design, landscape architecture, product design, and retail merchandising. Our curricular portfolio also includes additional programs in wearable technologies, ecological restoration, lighting design, and healthcare design and innovation. Two increasingly prominent programs are cooperative with other colleges in the university: heritage studies and public history, and human factors and ergonomics. We also host several research centers where our faculty join members of urban and rural communities in the Twin Cities and throughout the state to address issues and broaden understandings of design. Among the intercollegiate cooperative research centers are the Center for Changing Landscapes and the Digital Design Center. Within the college itself, we have the Center for Sustainable Building Research, the Minnesota Design Center, and the Goldstein Museum of Design. Heather is here with us this morning. She's on the board of the Goldstein Museum. We also have departmental research centers: the Center for World Heritage Studies, Wearable Product Design, and the Human Dimensioning Lab. And there are also several smaller scale research collaboratives. So the University of Minnesota is, as you know, has the Carnegie designation as a community engaged university. And we are a prominent Research One university. So the research activity is very important for our faculty and students, and it feeds the ongoing development of content for the academic degree programs. So we have some notable advancements that I'd like to tell you about. This year is our 15th anniversary year. And as part of our celebration, we're publishing a collection of essays that are authored by faculty and our collaborators. These essays are about the history and current work of the College of Design, including essays on important figures in our history, such as the Goldstein sisters, Ralph Rapson, and Roger Martin. This year, we've also launched a very important advancement, the Kusky Design Initiative, which is in honor of a landscape architecture alumnus, Christopher Kusky. And the emphasis is on designing in ways that are compatible with natural ecosystems, thinking of humans as being part of nature, not separate from it, certainly not trying to dominate it, but trying to work with it. And so we're going beyond sustainability and resilience to notions of circular economy. We're thinking of biomaterials and biophilic design. We are beginning to create a collection of what we call biomaterials, organic substances like mycelium, the mushroom-based substance that can become leather. You know, we can use it to make fibers, and really think about in new ways about how we source our materials, how we manufacture them, how we use them and recycle, all things that are compatible with the natural world. The Kusky Design Initiative, or KDI as we refer to it, is made possible by the largest cash gift in the history of the college at $2.3 million. And that is just for starters. That's for a 3-year pilot for KDI, through which we can demonstrate the capability of people in the College of Design to sustain a long-term research initiative that will feed this kind of creativity, designing in harmony with the natural world. And if we demonstrate our credibility and capability to the funder, the Manitou Fund, they are interested in giving us a long-term endowment to the tune of about $14 million. So we're very hopeful that we will be able to bring that in about 2 or 3 years from now. So we're emphasizing the importance of interdisciplinary work in the 21st century. We know that the global scale, planetary scale problems that we're dealing with, such as climate change, social inequities that fuel inequitable access to education, healthcare, housing. These are very thorny and difficult problems. They're not isolated to one community or locale. So we have to think about those interconnections. There's no single perspective that can come up with solutions. So our students need to learn how to be broadly collaborative, and therefore they need to know how to conduct deep, sophisticated, meaningful, connected dialogues across disciplines. And that's a focus of KDI. Our slogan is advancing the dialogue. And this is also helpful as a method and as an overall kind of theme and mood for the college as we consider the organizational structure of the college, which currently is legacy. It's what we inherited from the existing programs as the college was formed 15 years ago. And it works okay, but we think we can do better. So we are engaged in discussions of how best to administer our academic programs, and we're emphasizing cooperative administrative structures and shared spaces and sharing of other resources as well. This will also help with our budgets, which are increasingly challenged, as I'm sure you're all aware. We're not alone in academe broadly, higher education. Budgets are increasingly challenged, and we need to pursue revenue sources beyond only tuition. We can't let the cost of our operations ride solely on the backs of our students. So really thinking about broadening the range of sources of funding and increasing our research and looking to federal funding agencies and certainly to public and private philanthropy as well. And we're also emphasizing the need to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion. The past year throughout the world has been so challenging for all of us. And Minneapolis, as we know, is a kind of epicenter with George Floyd having lived and died here. So we're very dedicated to increasing awareness of how to work together, not only across disciplines, but across cultures, and to increase the representation of many cultures within our college. So to that end, we have a number of actions that we're taking. As we engage hiring of faculty and staff, we work through search committees, and we're including in the charge for those committees best practices in identifying and challenging implicit bias. We all have biases of one kind or another. We're not necessarily aware of them, but we can call them out, we can call attention to them and make sure that they're not unduly influencing decisions in our hiring practices. I'm very proud that some of the staff within the college this year initiated an anti-racism reading group. So this is mainly white people trying to educate ourselves about racism and ways that we have privilege that we're not even aware of, often day by day. We grew up with it. We didn't think we had it. We certainly have a lot of range of economic status and different backgrounds in our own racial group. But, you know, like it or not, you know, we were privileged and we're trying to come to grips with that. We have also a faculty-led Design Justice Collective led by a brilliant young woman, African American, who identifies as a proud queer Black woman, she describes herself. And I don't say this to her, her name's Teresa Moses, but I really think that one day she will be the president of a university somewhere. She just has such a energy and generousness about her. So she's leading this Design Justice Collective, and she will soon join the University Office of Equity and Diversity as they create a leadership council focused on design, equity, and inclusion. So the College of Design is playing very well at the university level at the initiatives that we are taking to increase our so-called BIPOC community. You know, that acronym BIPOC means Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. And we're diligently trying to increase the representation of members of BIPOC demographics, because we know by increasing representation, that's the way to improve culture. And we also know that to diversify the students in the college, a very important strategy is to diversify the faculty, because students follow faculty, and particularly at the graduate level, it's the faculty who attract those graduate students. So toward that end, this fall, we are proceeding with a so-called cluster hire focused on design justice. And by focusing on faculty who have interests in design justice and anti-racism as their areas of scholarship, it often will be the case that people pursuing those scholarly areas will end up being members of BIPOC groups. Legally in the United States, unlike Canada and other countries, we are not legally able to target demographic groups in our hiring. So what we can do, though, is to seek particular scholarly areas of interest, knowing that members of certain demographic groups may be more likely than others to pursue those areas. So design justice and anti-racism are very strong themes in this cluster hire, and we will be bringing in 4 faculty members in architecture, graphic design, interior design, and product design through this cluster hire. So that's my overview of efforts to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion in the college, to increase fundraising and the breadth of our funding sources, and in particular, through the wonderful opportunity of the Kusky Design Initiative, KDI, to increase dialogues across disciplines and to help our students learn what it means to design in ways that are compatible with the natural world. And we are trying to increase our research overall and in an ongoing way, continually improve the quality and range and breadth and depth of our academic programs. So that's my overview, and I would love to hear from all of you. I'd love to hear any comments you have, any recommendations you may have for us, and certainly talk about any questions you may have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Is there any questions in the room? Anybody have any questions? Oh, Claire has a question.
So there's a question in the chat about healthcare design. So this really, there's quite a range. It might mean medical devices, and we are increasing that focus in our product design program. One of our newest faculty, Dr. Carly Lauf, has medical device design as one of her areas of specialization. We're also talking with people at the firm here in the Twin Cities, Medtronic, who are focused on medical device design. It also, healthcare design also may mean systems, even medical record systems, and even processes, such as the experience of a patient from the moment they walk into the emergency room to the moment they receive care, and the quality of that care. So there's quite a range in what we'd call healthcare design. But one thing they would all have in common is a focus on the experience of the patient. So, I know many people understand this notion. There's the term user experience design. This is both an area of focus in design. Faculty will have that as their area of scholarship as they look and refine methods for working with different users. It might be users of medical devices. In the field of architecture, those users would be occupants of buildings. It may be community groups for urban design. For graphic design, it's customers, well, it might be customers for any number of industries. For apparel design, those customers would be people wearing clothing. What all of our design disciplines have in common is a focus on the user. And there are a range of methods for how we collect input about what people want in the designed objects and environments that we provide them with. So healthcare design would have that focus on the patient and the experience of the patient one way or another.
Thank you so much for background. I really appreciate it. I'm really staticky. As consumers on our end, in terms of kind of more climate conscious and natural design, what can we do to support kind of that vision? Do you have, graduates who are working in the field that are designing clothes? All of us wear clothes. How can we change our behavior to support that?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think consumers in general are more conscientious, I think. And I think that with the younger generation in particular, people simply won't buy something if it's made with products that they prefer not to support. For example, people won't buy fur. Many people, fur garments are not so much the vogue as they would have been a century ago, because people are concerned about the cruelty to animals and the whole process there. Similarly, many people want to buy plant-based products. So we're seeing a whole new range of materials coming from that kind of sensibility and that kind of effort. People are also concerned about the way the laborers are treated, the people who are employed by the manufacturers of steel, fabrics, whatever it may be, the materials that designers use. So I think that consumers have a lot of power with their dollar votes, as one economist has put it. So, just deciding who are the manufacturers we want to buy from, because we think that they are working in ways that are compatible with social justice and environmental preservation and so on. I do think consumers have a lot of power.
Another question for you, Carol. Now I'm staticky. Let's see where I want to stand. So yeah, this is a question kind of on behalf of I'm part of the AAA Minnesota's Architecture and Schools Committee. And I maybe have lost track, but is the design college providing design camps or other programs for high school area kids?
Yeah, thank you for that question. We have wonderful programs along these lines. So one of them is led by our Associate Dean for Research. Her name is Dr. Abimbola Asojo, and she is both a licensed architect and a certified interior designer. She cares a lot about so-called pipelines, through which young people can become aware of design professions and then find their way into the professions. And to that end, she conducts a summer camp every year that's happening right now. So there are students in high schools in the Twin Cities who join this summer camp, and she brings them into Rapsam Hall, into our fabrication shop, where they can see what the 3D printers do. They have a chance to learn how to work with balsa wood and create models. One of the projects she has them do is to look at the design of the famous museum on the Smithsonian Mall, the Museum of African American History, which is designed by Sir David Ajay. And that's not only a beautiful architectural design that they can learn about, but also Sir Ajay is himself a role model, being an African architect of global prominence. And so that notion of role modeling is very much part of the strategy there. And Dr. Asojo herself is another role model, being from Nigeria. So a person of color in the field of architecture, and also a woman in architecture. Still very small numbers of licensed women in that field. So of women in that field who are licensed architects. So that's one example. We do also have a college in the schools program that our Assistant Dean for Student Services is working with one of our professors, Brad Hokinson, in graphic design, to help students in the high schools just become aware of fundamentals of design, like color, form, the spatial relationships that are so important and held in common with all of our disciplines. So those community engagements are extremely important, we believe. We do want young people to be aware that design is an important set of professions and viable as career choices. And we want their parents to be aware of it too. Many parents would like to see their children in, fields where they earn maybe more money than designers do, doctors, lawyers, and so on. But you can earn a very good living as a designer. And we want the parents to know that not only will their children, as they become adults in these professions, have a good life and a good lifestyle, but they'll be doing work that's important for advancing our communities and advancing life on the planet. I see a couple of other questions in the chat here. One about the interesting research that we're currently conducting. Gosh, there's so much ranging from daylighting, the important, are we running out of time? I don't mean to go on.
Yes, we're an 8:30 group, and yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I appreciate all the questions, and yeah, thank you everybody for the engagement today. Carol, so in honor of you speaking today, we partner with Way to Grow, which is a nonprofit that helps at-risk kids in Minneapolis be more successful in school. So what we'll coordinate is I have a book here that we'll find a way to get you. We will have you sign the book, and that will go to a third grader, so they will have a book of their own, signed by a leader in our community. So tying into our, outreach to children. And so yeah, we'll coordinate that with you, but I want to say again, thank you very much.
That's delightful. I'll be glad to do that. Thank you so much for having me, everyone. I enjoyed meeting you.
Thank you so much, Carol. We appreciate it. Next week, we have another great program. Vikas Narula from Neighborhood Forest. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right, but anyway, we'll learn how to pronounce it next week. Looking forward to that. Thank you for everyone who participated today. John Vandermeid, thank you. Daniel Cadet, thank you for being our day chair. Jean, thank you for doing the fruit basket mix up. Our great Zoom masters, Brock and Ross, thank you so much for all your great work. It's, we got a new computer too, because the old ones just couldn't handle it. And Brock was having his own good computer in here. And now we got a new computer. So that takes some time to get up to speed. Thank you so much for doing that with us today. You all have a great Rotary week.